Electoral Commission has described as false and misleading the claim circulating on social media that its chairman, retired Justice Adolfo Sanibele, has resigned. In a statement on Friday signed by its Commissioner of Civic Education, Rosiek announced that non-sensitive materials for the election have been already transported across the state, adding that updated 2023 voter register have been posted in all 6,366 polling units across 23 local government areas in Rivers State. The Commission stated that it has completed a critical aspect of tomorrow's Saturday's election, culminating in the successful distribution of non-sensitive materials and the mobilization of election logistics ahead of the voting scheduled for Saturday. Rosiek urged residents to participate in the election and exercise their franchise in strict compliance with electoral laws. They reaffirmed that the local government election will proceed as planned. The Electoral Commission emphasized the importance of the election, highlighting its alignment with the Supreme Court of Nigeria's order, directing RCEC to ensure its conduct. Rivers State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has urged the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, to obey court order, which restricted the conduct of local government elections in the state. This is as it warned that the governor of the consequences of disobeying the Federal High Court judgment outlawing the conduct of October 5 local government elections. Speaking during a press briefing in Port Harcourt on Friday, the state chairman of the PDP, Aaron Chukwuemeka, reiterated that the PDP would not participate in the election. Chukwuemeka praised the Independent National Electoral Commission for withholding the voters' register from the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, describing the development as a major setback for the election process. He also commended Nigeria Police for refusing to participate in the election. ATN reported that amid tensions surrounding local government elections, Governor Fubara has maintained that the election will be held on Saturday. However, the Rivers State Police Command Public Relations Officer Grace Ringekoko said the command's personnel will not allow a breakdown of law and order in the state. National Vice Chairman South of the All Progressives Congress, Victor Gadom, has disowned party members claiming to be candidates for the upcoming Rivers State local government election scheduled for October 5, 2024. The chairman of the APC in Rivers State, Emeka Beke, has on Wednesday presented flags to 21 chairmanship candidates for the local government council elections. This amid claims from the factional chairman of the APC in the state, Tony Okocha, that the party will not participate in the upcoming elections. In reaction, Giadom reaffirms that the APC will not participate in what he described as a sham election, a decision prompted by a substantive court judgment. He urged the public to disregard anyone claiming to be APC candidates. The national vice chairman also dismissed reports of factionalism within the APC in Rivers State, asserting that the national leadership only recognizes Okocha. He cited provisions in the party's constitution that prevents courts from interfering in the activities of political parties while allowing them to appoint individuals to manage party affairs. Gadom stated that the APC is not afraid to contest elections conducted within the law and called on Rivers residents to refrain from participating in Saturday's local government poll, reiterating that the party will not be involved. Angry Rivers State citizens on Friday stormed the office of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, demanding the conduct of the October 5 local government elections in the state. The protesters were said to have defied the heavy rainfall in the state, singing and drumming with one side of the road blocked. Recall that security operatives in the state at wee hours on Friday foiled an attempt by men dressed in police uniform to take over the office of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. The incident reportedly occurred around 1 a.m. on Friday today. ATN gathered that the miscreants attempted to scale through the gates and strong room of the commission to cut away sensitive electoral materials meant for the conduct of Saturday's local government election in the state. Also recall that the police citing the Federal High Court ruling announced the withdrawal of their personnel from the election scheduled for Saturday. Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has stated that the embattled Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu remains impeached. Obaseki made this statement on Friday in reaction to a comment credited to Shuaibu warning permanent secretaries and heads of ministries, departments and agencies to guard against attempts by political appointees to loot government properties. In a statement signed by his special advisor on media projects, Obaseki told Edo workers to disregard what he described as infantile ramblings, asserting that Shuaibu remains impeached until the court's determination and therefore lacks the power and authority to issue directives or warnings to any staff employed by the Edo State government. Recall that in July, the Federal High Court in Abuja voided the impeachment of Philip Shuaibu as the Deputy Governor of Edo State. Justice James Omotosho, while delivering judgments in the suit, ordered that Shuaibu be reinstated to office because the Edo State House of Assembly failed to comply with due process in impeaching him. On Tuesday, September 24, Justice Omotosho of the High Court in Abuja dismissed two separate motions filed against the Edo State government and the State House of Assembly against the reinstatement of Philip Shuaibu as the Deputy Governor of the state. Concerned by the rising cases of human trafficking in Delta State, a non-governmental organization, the International Center for Migration Policy Development, in collaboration with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, has selected 50 schools for a pilot project aimed at combating human trafficking in the state. The project is designed to take a holistic approach at targeting not only students but also the entire school community, including teachers, parents and local civil society organizations. The head of the West Africa region of the ICMPD, Dr. Mojisola Sojeye, disclosed this on Friday after a two-day workshop in Asaba, Delta State capital. Sojeye, represented by Rodada Johnson, stated that human trafficking has long cast a shadow over Delta communities, particularly affecting the most vulnerable, including children. The Director General of NAPTIP, Mr. Binta Bello, who was represented by the Director of Research and Program Development, Mr. Josiah Emirole, highlighted the importance of the sensitization campaign against human trafficking to the agency. Bello added that NAPTIP, established by law to combat human trafficking, also supports victims of trafficking and carries out preventive activities to reduce trafficking cases in Nigeria. He stated that the fight against human trafficking is not the sole responsibility of the federal, state and local government. It is a collective effort because all our communities are vulnerable. Analysts have posited against peer pressure as a major factor responsible for most unguarded youthful behavior among students. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, a public affairs analyst, Emmanuel Chukwu, blamed the confrontation between the rusticated students and the police on peer pressure. Meanwhile, Chukwu advocated for a sustainable school internal security system for both secondary and higher institutions across the country. This is coming as a confrontation between the rusticated students of Steele Secondary School in Ovian Udu local government area of Delta State and officers from the Delta State Police Command Ovian Division left residents on urge. The standoff began when the school administration invited the police to address the students' alleged criminal behavior, which had been disrupting the school environment. Anambra State Command of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 5 suspected illegal private security guards with 3 pump-action guns. The State Commandant, NSCDC, Maku Olatunde, disclosed this in Oka while parading the suspects, according to a press statement on Friday signed by the Superintendent of Corps and Head Media and Tactical OPS NSCDC Anambra State. Command, Okadibo Edwin Olatunde, said the suspects were arrested on Thursday at an illegal roadblock in Teje, Oyi local government area of Anambra State, extorting money from motorists while causing untold hardship to the road users. He stressed that the arrest of the suspects was part of the court's determination to eliminate impersonators and undesirable elements who hide under the cover of private security guards to perpetrate crime. He said preliminary investigation reveals that this kind of illegal checkpoints can facilitate robberies, extortions, adoptions, and targeted killings of civilians and state actors. He commended the private guards company department for their relentless efforts in the fight against illegal operators of private security outfits and for prompt response in apprehending the suspects. Operatives of Abia State Police Command have arrested 3 suspects over the killing of an aged couple who were reportedly found dead in their apartment at Etitiolu in Benda local government area of Abia State. This was disclosed in a press statement made available to newsmen by the Abia State Police Public Relations Officer, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Maureen Chinaka, on Friday. Etienne earlier reported that the Abia State Police Command has reaffirmed or confirmed the beheading of an elderly man, Mr. Jacob Udo, and his wife, Mrs. Comfort Udo, in Benda local government area of the state. According to the statement, the suspects were arrested following the investigations launched after examination of the crime scene and are being held for further interrogation at the State Criminal Investigation Department, Umaya. The statement further revealed that the Abia State Command Commissioner of Police, CP Danladi Issa, expresses concerns over the incident as he promised a thorough investigation into the incident. Operatives of the police command in Ebonyi State have arrested a man suspected of having stolen a black Prado SUV in Abakaliki, the state capital. The command spokesman, DSP Joshua Ukandu, revealed this in a statement on Friday in Abakaliki. Ukandu said the vehicle belonged to one of the customers of a car wash in the Abakaliki shopping mall where the suspect was employed. In a related development, the spokesman said that the operatives of the command arrested 4 suspects for allegedly conspiring and robbing a Mercedes 300 car from the Kenneth Aluma at Ndufu Alike Ikwo at gunpoint. According to him, the suspects also robbed the man operating the POS machine, adding that they made away with 601,000 naira cash and a Camon 19 Techno phone. The PPRO said that the suspects were arrested through painstaking intelligence gathering at the Precious Guest House Onitsha in Onitsha local government area, where the vehicle and 2 locally made guns were recovered from them. The suspects will be charged in court once the investigation to the march is concluded. According to the police spokesman, he said that the Commissioner of Police in the state, Mrs. Antonia Ucheanya, has assured residents of the state that the command will leave no stone unturned to ensure maximum security for them. Anti-kidnapping unit of the Imo State Police Command, in conjunction with other security agencies in the state, has raided the notorious ESN IPOB camp in Ezioha Forest in Baitoni local government area of Imo State. The State Police Public Relations Officer Henry Okoye made this disclosure in a statement on Friday in Owerri. Okoye said that during the operation, several kidnapped victims, including a 69-year-old traditional ruler in Omojin BD Loop community in Ori West local government area, were rescued by the security operatives. He said the kidnapped kingpin, whose group has been terrorizing the state in recent times, was also neutralized. According to the PPRO, on arrival at the terrorist camp, the security operatives were engaged in a heavy gun battle, and in the process, the gang leader was killed while others took off with bullet wounds. The police image maker added that items recovered include different vehicles, 1 pump-action gun, 10 live cartridges, 4 locally made explosives, 1 Biafra flag, and a native bulletproof, amongst others. 2 persons, Lekon Abiola and Timileyin Olaniyan, were on Friday arraigned in an Iyaganku Magistrates Court, Ibadan, for allegedly impersonating naval officers. The defendants, Abiola 28 and Olaniyan 28, of no fixed addresses, were charged with conspiracy and unlawfully parading as military officers. The duo pleaded not guilty to the charges. Earlier, the prosecutor ASP Anthony Gore informed the court that the defendants committed the offences on September 21 at about 12 noon at World Best Hotel, Muslim area of Ibadan. Igori said the defendants were military camouflage trousers and were in possession of the ID cards of Nigerian Navy. Igori said that the defendants were also in possession of an AK-47 live ammunition, electric pistol, knives, and amongst other dangerous weapons with the intent to commit felony. He said the offences contravened Section 109 and 430 of the Criminal Laws of Oyo State 2000. The magistrate, Mr. Olaolu Olanipekun, granted the defendants bail in sum of 200,000 naira each, with the surety each in like sum, and then adjourned the case until December 4 for hearing. Police command in Lagos State says it has detained a 25-year-old Chibunna Chimele, who allegedly stabbed his 68-year-old father to death. The command spokesperson, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, confirmed this to the newsmen on Friday in Lagos. He said that the incident happened on Thursday at 10 p.m. in a solo area of the state. Hundeyin said that the suspect's brother reported the incident to Aswani Police Divisional Station. They said that the police stormed the scene and recovered a knife with blood stains lying near the body, and that the suspect was apprehended. They added that the victim was rushed to General Hospital Solo, where he was confirmed dead by the doctor. He said the investigation is ongoing to unravel the circumstances surrounding the incident. Group of protesters arrested on Wednesday at the Gani Fawehimi Freedom Park in the Jota area of Lagos State have been released on bail. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Benjamin Hundeyin, confirmed this in a statement on Friday. He said the Commissioner of Police, Olariwaju Shola, gave the directive during the visit of social activist Omoyele Sowore to his office of the command headquarters in Ikeja. Hundeyin added that the arrested persons were immediately handed over to Sowore. Protesters on Tuesdays gathered at the park at the country to 64th Independence Day. The protest was monitored by security personnel, including policemen, officials of the Lagos Neighborhood Safety Corps and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. 13 individuals who reconvened at the protest site on Wednesday were, however, rounded up by the police, reacting to the arrest. In a statement, the police command alleged that they were not protesters but individuals masquerading as such with intentions to cause trouble. Lagos State government has stated that it will ensure that actionable strategies are employed to sustain the ban on the use of and sale of styrofoam food containers and single-use plastics in the state. Addressed participants at the one-day stakeholders workshop on implementation of the ban on usage of the plastics and single-use plastics held in Man Center, Ikeja. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, who was represented by the Special Advisor Environment, Engineer Kunle Rotimi Akodu, said the workshop will fashion out necessary strategies to implement and sustain the ban on the single-use plastics in Lagos. He said the statistics show that Lagos generates 13,000 tons of waste daily, with a significant percentage being single-use plastics and styrofoam, adding that these plastics have been scientifically proven to take up to 1,000 years before degrading. He added that the resolution to ban the product will not only be beneficial to the present generation but to generations yet unborn. He recalled that the state government in January 2024 pronounced a ban on styrofoam plastics and single-use plastics to reduce the harmful environmental and health impacts of these materials on human health and the ecosystem. Benue State Independent Electoral Commission has expressed its readiness to conduct local government elections slated for Saturday. BCAC Information Officer Mrs. Mavis Toriem made this declaration in an interview with newsmen on Friday in Makurdi. Toriem said that the non-sensitive materials were distributed on Tuesday to all 23 local government areas, and sensitive materials will be distributed on Friday. According to her, the chairman of the commission held a series of meetings with security agencies to ensure tight security, especially in areas considered flashpoints, were properly taken care of. She added that the move is to ensure that there is peace and security of lives and properties. The information said that the peace pact coordinated by the Benue Commissioner of Police was signed by the various political parties participating in the election. She said the commission has recruited all category of ad hoc staff and they have been trained in various areas and are ready for the election. Torem said all materials for the election, from sensitive to non-sensitive and also operational vehicles for the election have been in place and ready to work. She added that the media houses would also be accredited and given tags for the coverage of the election. Niger State Emergency Management Agency, in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency, has recovered 6 more bodies from the boat mishap incident in the state. The Director General, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Ara, who confirmed the development, said the bodies were recovered between 6 p.m. on Thursday and 9 a.m. on Friday. Ara stated that the recovery of 6 more bodies brought the total number of deaths to 42 on Friday morning. According to him, a search and rescue operation was ongoing to recover victims from the water. ATN had reported that a boat conveying 300 people, with the majority going to a Maulid celebration at Bajibo in Mokwa local government area, collapsed in a short distance from the victim's destination. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy Adeboyega Oyetola has urged boat users to avoid night travels and overloading and ensure that they wear life jackets before embarking on any journey. The minister revealed that night traveling and overloading are the major causes of death on our water. In a statement on Friday by spokesperson Ismail Omipidon, Oyetola said all hands must be on deck to put an end to boat accidents, adding that boat users should adhere strictly to the Water Transportation Code. He also commiserated with the Niger State government and families of those who died in the recent boat accident and the Bajibo River in Niger State. The minister also charged NIWA to enforce the code to the letter to significantly standardize water transportation, minimize accidents, and provide a structured environment for potential investors. Oyetola urged the state governments, especially the littoral states, to brace up and collaborate with NIWA to put an end to the incident accidents on the waters. Yoruba community in Borno State has called for urgent support for 4,600 members who were affected by the recent flooding and submerged 70% in Maiduguri and its environs. The president of the Yoruba community in Borno State, Saka Abiodun, who made the appeal while speaking with newsmen in Maiduguri, said most affected artisans struggling for survival. Abiodun lamented that the flood disaster have destroyed homes, sources of livelihoods and properties, while noting that the victims have lost everything they labored for. Abiodun emphasized that the flood displaced hundreds of families, destroyed homes and infrastructure. He caused the lack of access to basic necessities like shelter, food, clean water and healthcare. He solicited individuals, corporate organizations and government agencies to come to their aid. The community president, however, commended the efforts of the state government for the prompt responses it put in place to provide succor to the flood victims. Bakovala, the chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Suri local government area of Kebbi State, has been reportedly shot dead by gunmen. According to a Facebook post, Zaidu Bala, special advisor on television and radio, Kebbi State Governor Nasiri Idris, Bala was killed as a resident following an adoption attempt. Nafi Abubakar, the police spokesperson in Kebbi State, when asked, stated that he would verify the incident and provide further information. This tragic event comes amid a surge in banditry in the northwest region as security forces continue their decade-long battle to combat insecurity. In recent weeks, Nigerian military personnel have thwarted several attacks across the region. On September 11th, the Nigerian Air Force stopped a terrorist assault on Department of State Services facilities in Niger State, and days later, Operation Hadari Daji forces killed notorious bandit leaders in Zamfara. Sokoto State Government said it has employed 845 nurses and midwives to facilitate access to improved quality healthcare services delivery across the primary health centers in the state. The economic advisor to Sokoto Governor, Dr. Bashir Achida, said this during an interview with newsmen in Abuja on Friday. Achida said the recruitment became necessary given the need to address the medical personnel gap in the state. He told newsmen that the state government was determined to address healthcare challenges such as maternal and infant mortality rates and other diseases. He said plans have been concluded to also absorb medical doctors graduating from medical institutions, state and other universities into state health facilities. He said 7 primary healthcare facilities have been renovated, and Achida said the governor Alhaji Ahmed Aliyu has also convened plans to build an additional 199 other primary health care centers, saying that the government was working to deliver on it. National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control has warned bakers and table water producers in Nasarawa State against unwholesome practices or face sanctions. The North Central Director of the agency, Francis Ononiwu, issued the warning at the stakeholders' engagement with master bakers and the Association of Table Water Producers in Nigeria on Friday in Lafia. He also said that the engagement was part of the agency's strategy to interface with stakeholders and remind them of the basic requirements to sustain the quality of their product. He explained that water and food were essential to the lives of the citizenry and that the agency would ensure the public consumes only healthy water and bread. The director noted that bread was one of the basic foods eaten by most households in Nigeria, hence the need to maintain its standard. The former chairman of ATWAP in the state, Alfred Alogala, lauded NAFDAC for the initiative and expressed optimism that it would help them to continue to maintain standards. He urged their members to continue to adhere to standard practices in the production of water and food products that do not cause infections and disease when consumed by the people. Bandits armed with dangerous weapons invaded Dan Ali in a community in Dan Musa local government area of Katsina State, disrupting Jamaat prayers in multiple mosques. ATL learned on Friday that the armed assailants stormed the areas, firing sporadically, causing panic and forcing worshippers to flee. A source within the community confirmed the incident. Source, who wished to remain anonymous, according to him, for a week, bandits have been preventing farmers from entering their farmlands in Dan Ali and surrounding areas, including Gwajo, Dangane, Tune, Tasha, and the rest of them. And the comments were unsuccessful at the time of filing this report. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be right back after this break. Please stay with us.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving
We are back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Federal government has revealed plans to create 4 million jobs as a way of tackling youth unemployment across all the 774 local government areas of the country. Announcing this in Abuja on Friday, the Minister of State for Youth Development, Comrade Ayodele Olawande, said the federal government is determined to educate, inspire and connect Nigerian youth to careers and opportunities in the insurance sector using the power of digital technology. The minister added that the federal government is committed to increasing youth participation in the insurance sector to create jobs and enhance financial inclusion. The development comes after Rural Electrification Agency has said starting in November, the federal government will kickstart a new rural electricity project bankrolled by the World Bank to provide electricity for 17.5 million Nigerians. Federal government has appointed 15 Assistant Comptrollers General of Nigeria Immigration Service alongside 95 officers promoted to the rank of the Comptroller. The appointment is part of a larger promotion exercise involving 13,977 immigration personnel. During the ceremony, held on Friday in Abuja, Ahmed Jafaru, Secretary of the Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Services Board, announced that 5 officers were also awarded special promotions for exceptional performance. Kemi Nandar, Controller General of the Immigration Service, praised the government's commitment to career progression and growth within the state, emphasizing that the promotions will eliminate career stagnation. Nandar lauded the board's efforts to ensuring a fair, transparent and timely promotion process, adding that 2024 promotion exercise is historic, with 13,977 personnel promoted. Nigerian Senate has reopened debate on a bill to establish the South-South Development Commission, which was suspended in July. The bill scaled through second reading during the plenary session on Thursday. In the first twist, the expression of what is good for the goose is good for the gander prevailed as the South-South lawmakers made a case for reconsideration of the South-South Development Commission bill. At today's sitting, the majority of lawmakers embraced the merits of the commissions, asserting that it will be development-based, not resource-based like the NDDC.
The South-South requires a commission that is exclusively dedicated to a region that understands our unique issues and can craft tailored solutions for them, just like the other 5 geopolitical regions. And our distinction lies in the way funds are allocated. The Niger Delta Development Commission allocates resources to member states based on the quantum of oil production in each state. While oil production remains crucial, it has led to unequal development where states with higher oil output rightly receive a disproportionate share of resources, leaving others behind.
The Deputy Senate President, Barau Jibrin, and a lawmaker from Kogi State, while speaking to the bill, suggested that other oil-producing states could be included in the NDDC, saying the NDDC name could be changed to accommodate more oil states.
Because of the nature of South-South, if you go to South-South, you cry. If you go to where this oil is being drilled, these people have no water to drink. They have nowhere to cultivate food to eat. So they should be number 1 in having the developmental commission, because this commission is developmentally based, not oil based, because there are 2 different things we are doing. We have the hyperbed in Niger and they're operating, and the other developmental commissions are there. So
we are now creating not resource-based centers of development and entities, but development-based entities according to geopolitical zones. And that is why the case is now being made for the consideration of this August Assembly. As has been rightly said, what is good for the goose is also good for the gander.
Since we have created commissions for other zones, like my zone has gotten one, there's nothing wrong, and I support the idea that the commission to take care of the South-South in terms of helping to further develop the zone should be created. That's okay. That said, I will also want the name. Well, thereafter, of course, when the commission has been created, then we have to look at the NDC again, maybe change the name to Oil Area Producing Commission, so that will include states like Gombe and Bauchi that are now oil producing. And of course, Kogi, as said by Senator Karimi, can now be brought on board. So the name, Ogun State, and Lagos State,
Seriake Dixon, Bayelsa West, Ojuzo Kalu, Abia North, Barao Jibrin, Deputy Senate President. However, the bill has been referred to the Committee on Special Duties to report back within 1 week. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has extended his condolences to the families of those who lost their lives in a boat accident in Niger State on Tuesday. Around 60 bodies have been reportedly recovered after the boat capsized on Tuesday night at the Bajibo River. The boat was also carrying over 300 passengers. In a statement issued to the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Musa Krishi, on Friday, the Speaker expressed sadness over the accident and commiserated with the families of deceased as well as people of the government of Niger State. He particularly sympathized with Governor Mohamed Bago over the tragic incident while calling for safer water transportation for people and goods across the country. Abbas urged the residents agencies responsible for maritime and inland waterways to enforce safety standards. The Speaker also expressed concern over the natural disaster in Mogwa local government, where over 300 communities were being flooded, displacing many from their homes. He noted that the flood had a serious socio-economic consequence on the people, the state, and the nation at large. Analysts have lauded the request by the House of Representatives to expedite of trial cases. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Blowout, a public affairs analyst, Emmanuel Amakiri, said this directive speedy to tackle the directives to speedily tackle cases on trials will as well help in decongesting of remanding facilities across the country.
They will remind you. Remind you is just to keep you, okay, a few days we should come back to court and conclude. But most times when they remind them, they just keep them there. People in the remind aspect, people they reminded are even much more than people in the main prison serving. So these are the things that made prison to be filled. Overcrowded. No space.
In view of the sustainable education, Mr. Amakri taxed the federal government on privatization.
If there is anything, government strike or whatever, they still go to school. You understand? But anything government affects every sector. So you call it traditional or anyhow, it's to still boil down to same.
This is coming as the House of Representatives has asked Latifa Bemi, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, to expedite the trial of persons in prolonged detention. National Space Research and Development Agency has reaffirmed its commitment to positioning Nigeria as a key player in the global space economy. This is revealed in a statement by the Director of Media and Corporate Communications at NASRA, Mr. Felix Ale, on Friday. The agency's Director General Matthew Adepoju emphasized this commitment during recent engagement at 79th United Nations General Assembly and Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Global Alliance Business Association International Conference in Michigan, United States. The statement noted that Adepoju outlined a forward-thinking agenda, stressing the importance of Nigeria's space program as a leader in research, exploration, and technological innovation. He underscored the necessity of strategic partnership. Ale noted that under Adepoju's leadership, NASRA is focusing on enhancing satellite capabilities, expanding international collaborations and leveraging space science for national development. The Russian government has said the United States and the United Kingdom were trying to destroy its relationship with Nigeria by linking the country with the August 1 hunger protests in Nigeria. This was contained in a letter from Russian government to Nigeria Ministry of Foreign Affairs by the Foreign Official Press Secretary of the Russian Embassy in Nigeria on Friday in Abuja. ATN recalls that some protesters were seen waving Russian flags and chanting slogans, while others held placards with various messages during the protest. Russia has also been accused of involvement in recent political unrest in several West African countries, including Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. This has sparked concerns about external interferences in regional affairs. However, Russia, a global power, alleged that the United States, Britain and Ukraine were linking it with protests to destroy cordial relationship between Nigeria, urged Nigerian government to ignore the accusations. Paramonov said the embassy had conveyed Russian President Vladimir Putin's congratulations to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the occasion of Nigeria's National Day, Independence Day. And now on business news, the federal government has said it is targeting 4 million barrels per day for oil production and 10 billion cubic feet of gas production in 2030. Mrs. Olu Vehejin, special advisor to the president on energy, made this known in a statement made available to newsmen on Friday in Abuja. The statement was signed by Morenike Adewumi, stakeholder manager of the office of the special advisor. Vehejin said the feat would be achieved through commitment to reform agenda and unprecedented incentives for oil and gas production unveiled by the President's administration. She disclosed that the rollout of the reforms was being coordinated by her office. She said that in a major move to advance the ongoing structural reforms in the oil and gas industry, President Tinubu approved the issuance of 2 new sets of fiscal incentives. The incentives, according to her, included a VAT waiver covering gas, diesel, electric vehicles and clean cooking equipment, and tax credits for new investments in the exploration or production of deepwater and oil and gas. The Central Bank of Nigeria has announced a fresh foreign exchange code as guidelines to eligible players in the country's FX market to stabilize Naira. The FX code was contained in a document released on CBN's official website on Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. According to the Apex Bank, the FX code will regulate Nigeria's financial system and supervise the foreign exchange market in line with global best practices. CBN noted that the fresh FX code is organized around 6 principles, including ethics, governance, execution, risk management and compliance, information sharing and confirmation and settlement processes. The Apex Bank stated that the guideline will take effect on October 14, 2024. The guideline said all market participants are required to submit a self-assessment report on level of compliance with the FX code by December 31, 2024. This comes as Naira appreciated against the dollar at both official and parallel foreign exchange markets. Recall that on June 14 last year, CBN floated the Naira at the FX market. The development led to the drop in the value of Naira in the FX market from 463 Naira per dollar last year on June 13 to 1,659 Naira on Thursday. 11 electricity distribution companies in Nigeria have lost 28.97 billion naira to unpaid electricity due to customers in July 2024. The Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission disclosed this in its commercial performance of Disco's fact sheet for July 2024. This figures represent 17.74% of total bills of electricity customers in period under review. Meanwhile, the Discos recorded 82.26% electricity bill collection efficiency and earned 162.12 billion naira from 197.11 billion naira issued bills in July 2024. The NERC's data show that Ikeja, Eko, and Abuja Discos collected the highest bills of 33.98 billion naira and 28.35 billion naira and 25 billion naira respectively in period under review. On the flip side, Aba Discos recorded lowest electricity bill of 1.3 billion naira in June 2024. This comes as Nigeria still grapple with the inadequate power supply with an average of 5,000 megawatts for an estimated population of over 250 million. Up next is international tidbits. Marburg hemorrhagic fever has killed 11 people in Rwanda. Health authorities said on Thursday as the East African country searches for the source of an outbreak first traced amongst patients in health facilities. There are 36 confirmed cases of disease as they manifest like Ebola, with 25 of them in isolation. According to the Rwandan government's latest update, Rwanda declared outbreak on September 27 and reported 6 deaths a day later. Authorities said that at the time of the first cases had been found amongst patients in health facilities and that the investigation was underway to determine the origin of the infection. The World Health Organization has warned that cases of Kigali and the Rwandan capital pose a risk of international spread because the city has been international airport and is connected by road to other cities in East Africa. Rwanda Health Minister said Thursday that clinical trials for vaccination will start within days, but failed to clarify which type of vaccine will be used. With his major opponents imprisoned or left off in the ballot, Tunisian President Kais Saied faces few obstacles to winning re-election on Sunday, 5 years after riding anti-establishment backlash to a first term. The North African country's October 6 presidential election is its third since protests led to the 2011 ousting of President Zine El Abidi Ben Ali, the first autocrat toppled in Arab Spring's offspring. International observers praised the previous two contests as meeting democratic norms. However, a raft of arrests and actions taken by Side-appointed election authority has raised questions about whether this year's race is free and fair, and opposition parties have called for a boycott. Not long ago, Tunisia was hailed as the Arab Spring's only success story, as coup counter-revolutions and civil wars convulsed the region. The North African nation enshrined a new democratic constitution and saw its leading civil society groups with the Nobel Peace Prize for brokering political compromise. This year's election will offer a window into popular opinion about the trajectory of Tunisia's fading democracy has taken since Side took office. Former President Barack Obama will lead the campaign trial for Vice President Harris' team while starting next Thursday, October 10th, through Election Day, according to senior campaign official. The first stop will be in the Pennsylvania in the Pittsburgh area, where before Obama embarks on a campaign break across the battleground states in the final 27 days. Obama held a Los Angeles fundraiser for Harris in September and, along with former First Lady Michelle Obama, gave a speech at the Democratic National Convention in August. Meanwhile, Harris recently enlisted the help for former Republican Rep. Liz Cheney on Thursday at a rally in Wisconsin. Cheney is among a handful of prominent Republicans, including her father, former Vice President Dick Cheney, who have pledged to support Harris' bid. U.S. port strike that shut down shipping on the eastern Gulf Coast for 3 days came to an end on Thursday after dock workers struck a tentative deal with the port operators. The International Longshoremen's Association announced the union had reached an agreement with the United States Maritime Alliance on wages, suspending their walkout until January. Works would resume immediately, the union said. The strike, which involved 45,000 workers across 36 ports from Texas, Maine, was the first to hit the eastern Gulf Coast ports of the U.S. since 1977. The tentative agreement is for a wage hike around 62%. A source familiar with the matter told newsmen. Both sides said it is a statement that they would return to the bargaining table to negotiate all outstanding issues. Concern had been mounting about the potential economic impact of the strike and the threat of shortages. JP Morgan Analysis estimated the walkout could cost the U.S. economy as much as $5 billion a day. And now, Sports Nigeria Internationals Both players were featured at the training ground of the former champions on Thursday ahead of the NPFL Matchday 5 home game against Sunshine Stars. The club said Chelsea coach Enzo Maresca has played down talks for his side winning the English Premier League, saying the club isn't ready for the title win. The West London side sits in fourth position behind the table leaders Liverpool, Manchester City and Arsenal. They have been on fine form for the domestic division so far. Despite this estimated 67% win rate, the tactician believes his side needs more time to maintain balance as he has been in charge of 3 months. Palmer, 22, bagged the record, kicking 4 goals in the first half in their 4-2 win over Brighton at the Stamford Bridge. Caitlin Clark has been named the WNBA Rookie of the Year in a near unanimous vote, giving the Indiana Fever back-to-back winners after Aaliyah Boston won the honor last season. A national panel of the sports writers and sportscasters gave Clark 66 of 67 votes in balloting released Thursday. Chicago Sky forward Angel Rossi received the other. Clark, number 1 overall pick from Loa, averaged 19.2 points at the league best 8.4 assists per game, while helping the WNBA set attendance records and garner mainstream attention. She struggled a bit early in the season but found her groove and was on an all-star starter. The unanimous AP Rookie in the Year led the Fever of the playoffs for the first time since 2016 and the 2020 record after a 1-8 start. Nigerian forward Sadiq Awudullah has joined the Egyptian Premier League. The 23-year-old linked up the Pyramids on the season-long loan with the option to buy. Mahmoud Salaka and Faji Lake moved to Ceramica Cleopatra as part of the deal. The versatile forward joined Ceramica Cleopatra from Smoha at the beginning of the last season. He also helped Ceramica win the Egyptian League Cup, beating Talai Gash in the final. Galatasaray forward Victor Osimhen's transfer value has dropped significantly. According to the updated transfer market valuation released on Friday, Osimhen is now valued at 75 million euro. The Nigerian was previously valued at 100 million euro before his loan to Galatasaray. The 25-year-old is, however, the most valuable player in the Turkish Super League. Former Sevilla striker and fellow Morocco World Cup star Sofiane Amrabat are next in value to Osimhen in Turkey. And now entertainment news. Social media activist Martin Osi, also known as Very Dark Man, on Friday said the religion has blinded and finished Nigerians and Africans. Very Dark Man was reacting to the apology by Pastor Enoch Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. The cleric apologized for his earlier claim that the Christians that are not paying tithes will not make heaven. Pastor Adeboye had previously claimed that paying tithes was one of the prerequisites for going to heaven. But addressing his members, the clergyman apologized for the comments, which he described as a mistake, stressing that the Holy Bible says peaceful and holy living are the prerequisites for making heaven. Reacting via his post on Instagram, the Very Dark Man said he's happy about what Papa Adeboye revealed and that he's waiting for all those pastors that preach about giving tithes. He added that religion has blinded and finished us as Nigerians. Country superstar Garth Brooks has been accused of rape and sexual assault, according to a lawsuit obtained by Newsman. The plaintiff, referred to throughout the court document as Jane Roe, filed the lawsuit in the California Supreme Court in Los Angeles County on Thursday, October 3. Jane Roe is identified in the lawsuit as a professional makeup artist and hairstylist with more than 30 years in the music industry, who was first hired to do makeup and hair for Brooks' wife, Trisha Yearwood, in 1999. According to the lawsuit, Roy began her working relationship with Brooks, now 62, in 2017. She says that the complaint she was hired by Brooks more often beginning from 2019 as he learned that she was experiencing financial difficulties. The plaintiff's claims her working relationship with Brooks took a turn in May 2019 when she claimed the Grammy-winning singer raped her on a professional trip to Los Angeles. And that's the global news for tonight, but before we go, another look at the major stories. RCEC denies resignation of chairman. NSCDC nabs fake security guards. FG targets 1 million jobs. CBN announces fresh FX code. WHO approves first monkeypox diagnostic test. Very Dark Man reacts to Adeboye's apology. Ahmed Musa rejoined Kanu Pillars. I am Enidoye Jackson. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay connected with us on all of our ATN socials, on Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X at Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website at www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you once again for watching. I am Enidoye Jackson. Have a very good evening.